COVID-19 cases. IDH reaches maximum capacity. The nurses, paramedics and medical professionals of the Western Province launches a one-day strike. People stand in queues to purchase cement.
In your top story this afternoon, the nurses, paramedics and medical professionals of the Western Province have launched a one-day strike action demanding a solution to the salary anomalies.
The representatives of 16 trade unions, including the Government Nursing Officers Association and the Federation of Health Professionals, have joined the strike action. The medical professionals are demanding that the relevant promotions and benefits be provided, the salary anomalies be resolved and the graduates to be recognized. The clinical activities at the Colombo General Hospital were hampered today due to the strike action launched by the nurses, paramedics and medical professionals. According to our correspondent, the patients who visited the Colombo General Hospital for blood tests were severely inconvenienced. Although prescriptions were issued, the medicine counters were closed. Meanwhile, patients who visited the Colombo South Teaching Hospital returned home without receiving treatment. Although certain clinics at the Gampaha District Hospital continued operations today despite the strike, medicine counters were closed. Convener of the Federation of Health Professionals, Ravi Kumudesh, said they have written 6 letters to the President citing the issues including the salary anomalies faced by the medical professionals. The Sri Lanka Education Administrative Service Officers Association is also conducting a trade union action citing salary anomalies by reporting sick today. Secretary of the association, Neil S. Athukorala, said the decision reached to remove the salary anomalies of the teachers and principals has led to the creation of a salary anomaly in the Education Administrative Service. Accordingly, the members of the association have refrained from duties at the Education Ministry, Education Publication Department, Zonal Education Officers and the Examinations Department today.
The Federation for Health Professionals in Sri Lanka are in march from the General Hospital Colombo towards Town Hall, and they are coming back to the Health Ministry. A large crowd has been gathered here today and traffic has been completely diluted and it has been blocked completely because of the protest. The protesters are demanding a sustainable solution for their salary anomalies, as well as they are demanding the government to put an end to the medicine mafia in the country. It is also noted that the Federation for Healthcare Professionals in Sri Lanka are in strike in the Western Province today. I'm Nisal Suryarachi reporting for News First.
In more headline-making news, spokesperson for the CEB confirmed that MMC Ferdinando has resigned from the post of chairman of the Ceylon Electricity Board. His resignation comes after Sri Lanka faced a serious issue on securing foreign exchange to procure fuel to be delivered to the Ceylon Electricity Board for electricity generation. The Ceylon Electricity Board said the remaining stocks of diesel and furnace oil for power generation are only sufficient for today. Andrew Navamuni, the spokesperson for the Ceylon Electricity Board, told News First the stocks of diesel supplied to the Kalanithesa power plant for power generation will end today. The furnace oil supplied to the Sapagaskanda power station and the barge-mounted power plant at the Colombo port is also sufficient only for today. According to Andrew Navamani, the Ceylon Petroleum Corporation has been informed in this regard, further noting power cuts are highly likely if the ordered stocks of diesel and furnace oil are not delivered today. However, Chairman of the Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka, Janaka Ratnayaka, has said that there is no need for power cuts based on the statistics available at present. The Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka says discussions are underway to integrate the power generated through standby generators owned by private and public sector institutions into the national grid.
Chairman of the PUCSL, Janaka Ratnayaka, said such generators are capable of generating around 2,000 megawatts of power, adding that given the prevailing crisis, these resources could be integrated into the national grid to address the issue. According to Ratnayaka, there are generators capable of generating 60 megawatts of power at 10 locations in Colombo city. He further noted plans have been prepared to use the generators until the prevailing power crisis is resolved.
Another phase of the series of seminars organized by the Janata Vimukti Peramuna was held at the Badegama Town Hall in Galle yesterday.
Now the world does not give loans. There are only two options left. Number one, print money. Number two, sell the assets of the country. As part of the government's development activities, what happens without any interruption is printing money. With a blink of an eye, they print money. A second later, they double the amount and print more. There is no gifted country than this in the world. In the world map, Sri Lanka is the pearl of the Indian Ocean. When you rotate the world map, Sri Lanka is the entry door to Asia. The Portuguese, the Dutch and the British came to this country because it is valuable. Nowadays, US, India and the Chinese come to this small country. They value this. Democracy is shrinking. The rule of law is being violated. And the country is becoming a disgraceful country in the eyes of the world.
The protest march launched by the Frontline Socialist Party under the theme A Public Movement Towards a New Hope commenced near the Talpitia Bridge today. The protest march, which commenced in Colombo yesterday, ended in the Panadura town. The protesters marched towards the Panadura town and distributed leaflets thereafter. The farmers in Udenigama Haliyala say they see a significant reduction in their harvest this week. The farmers in Haliyala are facing severe difficulties as they could not reap the expected harvest. The farmers say despite spending large amounts of money for cultivation, the harvest has been low. This has impacted the livelihood of these farmers. A group of farmers attached to the Mahavali Sea Zone has commenced a protest demanding compensation for their destroyed crops and several other demands. The protest is staged in the Hiyattakandia.
The protest is also attended by members of Samagi Jana Balawegaya and Samagi Farmers Retirement Forum.
The protest, staged by farmers' organizations in Hambantota demanding the implementation of gazetted wild elephant management reserve, continues for the 37th day today. The protesters sought divine intervention last night by engaging in religious observances. The protest is staged by the Valava Left Bank Joint Farmers Association and 86 other farmers' associations. A long queue was seen outside a shop in Pilana Habaradua to purchase cement today. Although the people were standing in the queues for hours, only 2 bags of cement were issued to each person today.
Shifting your attention to more headline-making news, the rate of COVID-19 patients receiving in-house treatment at the infectious disease hospital in Colombo has risen by around 50% as of now. Director at the IDH hospital, Dr. Hasita Athanayaka, said the rate of COVID-19 patients at the intensive care unit has also reached its maximum capacity.
Dr. Athanayaka said the rate of COVID-19 patients depending on oxygen has also risen compared to last week, given the increase in the rate of daily infections.
It
is true that compared to other variants, the symptoms of Omicron variant are mild. We cannot hide this fact. But we need to carefully consider the severity of this situation because that message has not been delivered to the general public properly. Even though we consider this variant as the one that shows mild symptoms, we must also remember that there could be many people among us who have contracted the virus but who are not aware of it, since the symptoms are mild. Through them, the virus can spread to others as well.
Over 800 new COVID-19 cases were detected daily in the country in the past 6 days. Another 891 COVID-19 cases were reported in the country yesterday, and the total number of cases in the country now stands at 603,654. According to the epidemiology unit, there are 11,784 active patients receiving treatment. The COVID-19 fatalities in Sri Lanka stands at 15,330. The Ministry of Health says the Ministry of Health says 576,540 COVID-19 patients have recovered as of now. In more news, India celebrates its 73rd Republic Day today. A flag hoisting ceremony was held in Colombo celebrating the 73rd Republic Day of India.
The event was organized by the Indian High Commission in Sri Lanka. Indian Ambassador to Sri Lanka Gopal Bagle graced the occasion.
Dear fellow citizens, the world has never been in so much need of help as now. It has been over 2 years now, and humankind is still battling with the coronavirus. It has been an extraordinary challenge to humankind. I am proud to say that we have shown an unmatched resolve against the coronavirus. In the first year itself, we raised the healthcare infrastructure and also reached out to help others. By the second year, we had developed indigenous vaccines and launched the world's biggest vaccination drive in history.
Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jayashankar issued a video message to mark the occasion.
The events being organized are not only a celebration of India's independence, but are a tribute to our bilateral ties. India and Sri Lanka have a special relationship. Thousands of years of historical, cultural, religious, linguistic, and geographical closeness have contributed to the strong bonds of friendship between the two countries. As close neighbors and maritime partners, both nations have recently been engaged in close economic cooperation for mutual benefit. India has always stood with Sri Lanka and is committed to supporting Sri Lanka in all possible ways for overcoming the economic and other challenges posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. I am confident that the understanding between the leadership in both countries, which is complemented by our deep people-to-people ties, will impart further momentum to this relationship.
Republic Day marks the adoption of the Constitution of India and the transition of the country to a republic on January 26, 1950.
Salute! Madhya Dak!
The Indian government announced a list of Padma Awards on the eve of India's 73rd Republic Day. This year, the government has chosen 4 people for Padma Vibhushan, India's second highest civilian award. India's first Chief of Defence Staff, who died last month in a horrific chopper crash, has been honoured posthumously with Padma Vibhushan. While vaccine makers Cyrus Poonawalla of the Serum Institute and Krishna Ella and Suchitra Ella of Bharat Biotech have been honoured with Padma Bhushan. The heads of tech giants Microsoft and Google Satya Nadella and Sundar Pichai have been named for the Padma Bhushan honours. Singer Sonu Nigam and Olympic gold medalist Neeraj Chopra have been honoured with the Padma Shri.
It is alleged that the number of tourists visiting Polonnaruwa has decreased due to the inefficient decision-making. The number of foreign tourists visiting Polonnaruwa has dropped significantly. Tourist industrialists say that this is due to the unusual increase in the ticket prices at the historic sites. They point out that tourists are reluctant to come to Polonnaruwa due to the high prices charged by the Central Cultural Fund for the visiting of Polonnaruwa archaeological sites. They request government intervention to protect the industry. and much more. Have yourself a great day ahead.